Hello. The premium vehicle trading happens every once in a while in World of Tanks, and if you know how to work it, you can get some good deals out of it. First things first, how do we get there? Well, you go to the store page on the left-hand side, and then it should be at the very top left. Now, this is going to run through until October the 9th, as you can see in the top right here, and from this screen, you can then choose which premium vehicle you would like to exchange for another one. Now, be warned, you do not get the full gold price from this vehicle. I believe it's roughly about half, which means that if you do select, say, an M449 and then you want to go and get a Lerva, you're still going to have to put up 4,950 gold. And this is where the trading can actually be very, very good for you, but also very bad for you. Because if you paid full price for a tier 8 premium and then you go ahead and basically sell it for half price, and then still have to put up the extra money, that premium that you're then receiving is basically 50% more than what you would have paid. And because of the 2.0 changes to the prices of premium vehicles, the trading prices have also adjusted for heavy tanks. The Alpine Tiger can no longer go and get an ELC even 90 for just 300 gold. And the reason why we say about the Alpine Tiger is because if you go to the bond store and then you go all the way down to the Alpine Tiger, and let's say we go ahead and purchase this. I have enough bonds on this account to demonstrate. We then go ahead and use this as the trade-in, which is 4,700 gold, which is by far the highest gold value of any of my tanks here. We click this, we then go ahead and say we want an even 90, which is right here. It's going to cost us 1,000 gold instead of the 300 gold like it used to. Now, I won't lie to you, this is actually still a very, very good trade because it's basically 8,000 bonds plus 1,000 gold for the best tier 8 light tank in the game. I mean, it might as well be a tier 10 light tank. But there is also the other benefit that everybody was given 2,500 gold if you're a returning player and 15,000 bonds, so everybody could technically just go and buy an even 90 right now. But obviously, if you didn't want an even 90, you could go ahead and untick this and then look through each one of these and see which one takes your fancy. The gold prices listed below these will be the price that you will pay for the tank. As you'll see, Lerva put that in 4,800. So just as a quick rundown, it's not really worth trading a vehicle unless you truly, truly hate it that you've paid real money for. If it's a bond store vehicle like the Alpine Tiger that you can always buy back just for grinding out some bonds, then I think it is worthwhile. Especially when you think about it as if you're paying 8,000 bonds plus a little bit of gold for a tank that you want. For example, if over the last month since September you've been watching Twitch, you could have got a T-34 completely for free, and you could use this in the trade-in to then get another vehicle that you wanted. That is a very, very worthwhile trade, and everybody should do that if they don't like the T-34. So now what I'm going to do is, assuming that you have an Alpine Tiger or something that is a large amount of gold that you've got for free or for bonds, I'm going to go through each one of these vehicles and tell you if they're worth the gold price. Starting out with the Lerva. I love this thing, but comparison to other tanks that are in here, absolutely not. Do not get a Lerva for this price in gold. T-44-100 is okay, but it's not excellent in nowadays World of Tanks, and I do think that it could use a little bit of a buff, so I'd probably avoid it, especially for this amount of gold. It's the same price as a Lerva. WZ-111, I mean, if you're trading an Alpine Tiger for a WZ-111, you are going to be quite disappointed. However, if it was, say, something else for a WZ-111, then maybe, but I still would steer clear of this because it's a lot of gold, and for what you're actually getting, I don't think it's worth it. The T-34 kind of got left behind in the past a little bit because it does have good penetration and an okay gun if you're up close in their face, but anything further than, say, like 200 meters, you could start having some very interesting shots. But for most people, I'd steer clear. FCM50T, this thing got buffed and is actually kind of good now, especially with the gun, but it still has no armor and you need to know what you're doing in the tank to make the most of it. I wouldn't say that you should avoid this tank outright, but I do think that you need to be a better player to actually make the most of this vehicle. M4 Liberté, do not buy this. You could buy it for 8,000 bonds. This is just not worthwhile at all. For the 7032, 100%, this is worth the gold, 4,300. That is a very, very good asking price. So you've done 8,000 bonds, you then do 4,300 gold, and you get yourself a 7032. I think this is a very, very good offer. The Mauerbrecher, no. 56 TP, no. Sommer SM, perhaps. This is actually not bad. I like the gun on this tank. If you like the 50B playstyle, but it's a lot slower, then you might like this. Basically, the hull armor is okay, but the turret is just made of mush. So every single tank is going to pen you in the turret, but you do have a gun which can very, very quickly eradicate the hit points. 252U, no, it's in the bond store, not worth it. 50 TP prototype, this is a good tank, and for the price in gold, this is actually not a bad offer as well. This is a bit like a Polish Defender in a way, almost. The hull armor is very good, the turret armor is good, and overall, a bit more gun depression than the 252U. The gun is a little bit better-ish, The gun can still very much troll you at times, but overall I prefer the 50 TP prototype to the 252U. Obviously the hull armor isn't as good as the Defender, okay? The M4Y, again, no, because you can get it for bonds in the bond store. Carnarvon Action 10, not a bad tank, but I do feel that the alpha damage is lacking in nowadays World of Tanks. If this had the same type of alpha as, say, the Carnarvon in the tech tree, then it would probably be a little bit higher up on my list and I would recommend it. But it's not. It's 230 alpha and it does feel very lacking. So I'd probably just steer clear of this. For the 112, I can't remember if this is in the bond store or not. I don't think it is. Either way, this is basically just a better, worse WZ111 or Alpine Tiger. Armor is better on the 112, but that's the only thing that you now have over the WZ111. And it used to be that I would say, yeah, you get this for blocking missions, but honestly, just get the VKP at tier 8 in the tech tree and you'll probably do a better time blocking. So no, just avoid that. The Kanonen Jagdpanzer 105, no. Lorraine 40T, it's in the bond store, no. Jagdtiger 88, for most players, no, you shouldn't get this tank. But it is quite fun. The reason why I say it's quite fun is because the reload time on this thing is incredibly short. And you have 240 alpha, which doesn't seem like much. But when you're hitting them every 4 seconds or whatever it is, it happens quite fast and then all your hit points disappear. But I don't recommend most people go and get this. For most players, it's just not worth getting. Patriot, again, in the bond store. Same as the STG, the Guard is in the bond store. There's no point getting an STG. This is just the unskinned version of the Guard. Skoda T27, this isn't a horrible vehicle, but when Lorraine exists, it's kind of hard to justify. Yes, you do have a better injury clip and reload time than the Lorraine, but you don't have the Alpha or the Pen, and I feel like the Lorraine is better suited for nowadays World of Tanks. I would love to see this thing get buffed to have a little bit more alpha though. Chrysler K and the 122TM are both in the bond store. Save yourself the gold. Go and get them for bonds at some point when you have enough. The AMX 30. This is a good vehicle. And for 2,900 gold, a lot of people might actually want this. The gun is good. The armor is okay. It's not impenetrable armor, but you will get some bounces here and there. And overall, as a package, this is actually really, really nice. You have the alpha, you have the pen, and you have the mobility. There's not really that much that you're lacking on this tank. You even have gun depression. So if you do like medium tanks, I would heavily consider the AP30. I would not consider the T54 Mod 1. The KV4 KTTS, this is not a bad vehicle, but it's also not a great vehicle. It doesn't really have any armor, especially after armor flashlight has been introduced, because everybody will know where to pen this thing now. But the gun is okay. The gun is okay, you have good DPM, you have okay penetration. I mean, the premium round is very good. But overall, it does feel a bit sluggish. You don't have a turret, and this is a tank destroyer, not a heavy tank like some of you might think, because they see KV4. So no, I wouldn't recommend this. The Mutant, or the M6A2E1. No, don't get this. There's much better tanks in here that you could spend your gold on. I believe this gets preferential matchmaking. This does indeed get preferential matchmaking, but the penetration is not great. And that is mainly one of the reasons that lets this tank down. You have 245 millimeters of penetration on your premium rounds. You have 204 on the standard rounds. And considering that you could meet a Type 4 heavy, which really will just laugh at you with that type of pen, you're in trouble. KV5 in the bond store. Pilot 1, just no, doesn't have very good penetration, isn't super fast, doesn't really have armor. It's okay overall, I guess, as a package, but there's so many better tanks than this. The AMX CDC. STA2, again, this is in the bond store. FV4 202, better tanks than this. Yes, the price is pretty cheap, but we're now getting around to the stage where, because the price is so cheap, a lot of the tanks are just better in this kind of class. Like the STA2, I'd rather play than an FV4 202. And if that's the case, why would you pay for this when you could just go ahead and buy this for 8,000 bonds? The same kind of thing goes for the Super Pershing. This, I don't think, is a bad vehicle, and I think that a lot of people would enjoy this, but considering the rest of the vehicles that are on offer here, it's not a great choice in this kind of enclosure. I think if you want a preferential premium tank, then maybe this is okay, but there's also better options in the bond store, and it just doesn't really make sense to pick a Super Pershing here. The T103, it's in the bond store, and you shouldn't go and pick it from the bond store, or from here, or anywhere else, or any... The M4A1 Revelarice. Who is buying this? And the pattern! The T92, no. This has some of the most expensive premium rounds in the game. It's like 5,200 a round for the premium ammo. You can genuinely go bankrupt from playing this tank with premium ammo, even with boosters. Senlac is in the bond store, not worth getting. Even 90, 100% worth it for 1,000 gold. You should all go ahead and get this if you haven't already. This is the best light tank at tier 8, 9, maybe 10. I mean, let's be honest, it's a pretty good job that the Borken can't actually meet one of these things because it would get outspotted by it. The only thing that really comes close to this vehicle in scouting capabilities is the Manticore, which is 2 tiers higher. And the M4190, again, is in the Bond store, so don't go ahead and buy it. So anyway, from that list, I'm getting myself an even 90. I hope you enjoyed, and enjoy your trade offers.